Hello. So, my husband brought it to my attention that apparently my videos are not very, exciting. So, I'm sorry about the boredom. I guess I've just been doing a lot of fact checking and, just reading from scripts. And so, this video, I'm just gonna talk. This video is probably going to be the hardest video for me to do because I'm going to try to go a little bit, not a lot, a little bit into detail about what I deal with, how I've dealt with it, why I chose to go down the road that I did, and maybe at the end a little bit about how to reach out. I know that's one of the biggest problems with mental illness in general is just reaching out because of the fear, because of the stigma behind it. So, obviously I have OCD or I wouldn't be doing these videos. So, I have a little bit of symmetry and orderliness. Nothing major. It's pretty minimal compared to the other forms of OCD that I have. As I mentioned in previous videos, I do have intrusive thoughts, which is classic of OCD. But for me, it's not just intrusive thoughts, it's intrusive images. So images pop into your head and you're like, oh my gosh, why am I seeing this? Why am I thinking this? I want it to go away. You want to fight it, fight it, fight it. But as I stated in the previous video, the more you try to fight a thought, the more it's going to break through. So, basically the idea is to let it pass. Just let the thought flow through and let it pass. That's not easy to do. I couldn't do that. So what I deal with, my particular form of OCD is harm OCD. I know that sounds absolutely terrible, awful, horrible, terrible. But I would get images of bad things happening to people that I love. I would get images of myself hurting myself. There are certain trigger words that I couldn't say and still struggle with. Any kind of sharp object I avoid like the plague because I don't want to be anywhere near it because I'm afraid something bad's gonna happen. Any kind of TV show that shows violence, the news or anything like that, anything on the internet that revolves around violence or harm or people being hurt or anything, I avoid it all because it would be a trigger for me and I would start having these intrusive thoughts and they would not go away and they were scary and distressing and I would have severe anxiety attacks to the point where I would be like balled up here on my bed like just crying and I wouldn't be able to move. It was really hard for me because it started on just any random day. My husband was outside working on his truck. I wasn't feeling real well. Just had like a run-of-the-mill headache. I told him, I'm gonna go inside and stretch out on the couch for like an hour and try to get this headache to go away. I took some Tylenol like a normal person would, laid down, went to sleep. When I woke up, bam, intrusive thoughts started in. Why? I don't know. I don't remember dreaming. I don't remember anything major catastrophic happening that day. It was just a normal day. So when the intrusive thoughts started, it was really scary, and I was like, oh my gosh, what the hell is going on here? And I tried to just push it out of my mind. I just did the best I could to go about it, and I just kept getting worse and worse and worse. So I would have intrusive thoughts where I would see things happening, like I used in a previous video, like worried that my dryer was going to blow up, or all of a sudden I would have like this intrusive thought that it would be imagery of me shaving my head. My hair is very long. I love my hair. It's like the favorite thing about me that I love the most. So, yeah, why would I do that? That's crazy. So I told my husband, I was like, I don't know what's wrong with me, like something's wrong with me. And he's like, well, it's probably just your post-traumatic stress disorder, or maybe you're getting ready to go through a bout of depression. It could be anything. So we just kind of tried to deal with it the best that we could, and it just kept getting worse and worse and worse. And then that was in March of 2014. Finally, in October of 2014, it got to the point where I couldn't take it anymore. I just could not hold it within me anymore. So I broke down and I told my therapist exactly what was going on inside my head. And she told me that it seemed like OCD. And of course, then I started doing research and realizing that, yeah, this was a little bit more serious than just post-traumatic stress disorder or bipolar disorder or depression or anything like that. So from October until probably, what did I say, like a week ago, I tried to deal with it using different forms of therapy and different things. One of my favorite things to do was the art of distraction. If I could get my mind out of here, if I could get out from in here, I could just one second. If I could get my mind from in here and focus on what's out here, whatever's on the TV, the radio, get on the phone and have a conversation, because that's like my biggest outlet. I sit and I talk to my mom or my grandma or my husband while he's at work. And those things helped me for a while until there was no one to talk to. And so then the TV helped, because I would be focusing on what's on the TV and not what's in my head. And then things that weren't triggers before started becoming triggers, and TV and music and all that was no longer an option for me. So I had to really try to figure out what I was going to do. And I got very distressed, and I got very, beside myself, and everything became obsessions. Everything became obsessions. I spent 14 to 18 hours a day in front of my computer researching. Just non-stop researching about OCD and what it does, and treatments, and how to overcome, and, it all comes back to the same thing. Cognitive behavioral therapy, exposure response prevention therapy, mindfulness. I tried mindfulness before and wasn't totally successful. And so in discussing with my therapist options for me that I thought might work, we both agreed that seeing a psychiatrist and giving medication a shot would be ideal. So that's what I did. I set up an appointment with a private psychiatrist, and I went in and I saw him, and as I stated in my first video, I absolutely adore him. He is awesome. He put me on 3 different types of medications, which once again I'm going to keep personal, because medications work differently for everyone. I will say that I am on an SSRI, a low dose one, which helps to balance the serotonin in my brain that causes the OCD. I'm also on anti-anxiety medications to help with the anxiety due to the obsessions, and the mental compulsions aren't as bad. I've done research for my videos, but I haven't spent a great deal of time since being medicated just doing research on OCD for my own personal compulsiveness. I can sit and watch TV with my family now. I'm able to do the things that I could not do before. And the psychiatrist saved my life. Honestly, he really just did. So I chose to go down this road because it seemed like the only option for me. And now that I am medicated, I'm in a better position to be able to do the ERP and mindfulness types of therapies. I've only been on medication for a little over a week, so I'm not gonna jump right into ERP, because I need to give the medication time to really get into my system before I can do that. But mindfulness is something that anyone can do. You Google it, look it up on YouTube. It's actually just based on meditation, just being calm, being mindful, staying in the moment. Just trying to keep yourself in a mindful manner. I know that's not very descriptive. So right now I'm sitting here, I'm being mindful of the moment, I'm focusing on my camera, I'm talking to my viewers, and I'm thinking about what I want to say and how I want it to come off. That's being mindful of the moment. That's what I'm doing. I'm being mindful of the fact that I'm recording this video and trying to think about the future. You know, there was a time where I could literally not think about the future at all whatsoever. I was lucky if I could get 5 minutes into the future without it being like catastrophic in my mind. Now I can think about the future. When I'm done recording this video, I'm gonna go watch a movie with my husband and just kind of relax and spend the evening just hanging out. Tomorrow I'm gonna get up and, you know, do something with my kids because it's summer vacation and they're like dying for attention. Wednesday I'm gonna go to church. Thursday I'm gonna go to the grocery store, and you know, it's just I can plan my future now, and it's the immediate future, but it's still further out than 5 minutes, and that for me is extremely awesome. Sorry, I have to stretch out here. So reaching out is probably the hardest thing. Like opening up and admitting that you have these things in your head is tough. It's difficult because people are going to look at you like you're crazy. Like if you don't know what OCD is and you're watching this video, you're looking at me like, oh my god, this woman's a psychopath. No, I'm not a psychopath. I have a chemical imbalance in my brain that is now balanced by the appropriate medication that will allow me to become a healthier, happier, and more productive person in society. But if you don't know, sorry, I'm not trying to be distracted. We're under a tornado watch as I'm recording this, and I think it's starting to storm. That's okay. We have sirens. It'll go off. I can always re-record later. But anyway, so, there are numbers you can call. There's suicide hotlines you can call. Even if you are not suicidal, you can still call those hotlines and just tell them, I'm not suicidal, but I need help. I need help finding, you know, ways to reach out. You can call your local hospital. You can call your local clinic. There's always mental health outreach programs. Get online and Google it for whatever city, town, country, continent that you live on. Reach out, look for help. Find support groups. I belong to 2 support groups on Facebook. Find support groups in your local area. Go within the church and try to see if you can start a mental illness support group. It doesn't necessarily have to be OCD, because OCD is a mental illness. So if you've got, you know, somebody who has generalized anxiety disorder and depression and bipolar and OCD, you guys all have mental illnesses. You can come together and you can support one another. It's no different than like NA or AA. You start a support group and go from there. That's what I'm trying and hopefully going to be able to do over the course of the summer. I'm going to try to form a support group within my local church. Hopefully my priest will allow me to do that. Gonna talk to him about it Wednesday. So we'll see. But you know, you have to reach out. You have to realize that you're not alone in this. You may be the only person that you know of suffering, but you're not the only person suffering. There's a lot of people out there who have mental health issues and they don't know what's wrong with them. So by all means, reach out, comment on this, talk to me. I'm here. I will respond to you. I'm not just going to ignore your comment and be like, oh, well, whatever. I'll respond because I know what it's like to feel totally and completely alone. So, I'm at the 15-minute mark now, so I'm going to go ahead and close and go watch the movie with my husband, and I will see you guys later. Subscribe, comment, like, share. Thanks.